Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. Today is a little bit of a different video. It doesn't involve a B58, but it does involve a BMW. And this video is specifically for the F82 or the S55 motor. We're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing today and why we're doing it. And also we're going to talk a little bit about the company that makes these products that we're about to talk about. Let's get right into it. So today we have here S55 motor, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be installing the aftermarket charge pipes. And as you can see, we have here the factory charge pipes. This car is pretty much stock. There's nothing done to it. This is a virgin motor. Nothing has ever been touched. It's one of the techs here at EuroMpire. Funnily enough, this is the car he hasn't messed with, but he does have a 335 that is putting out some serious power. As you guys know, these plastic charge pipes tend to be pretty fragile. Over time, after many heat cycles, these tend to become brittle and they tend to break. So a solution for that is to upgrade them. What we have here are these charge pipes made by Apexbuilt. Apexbuilt is a relatively new company. These are titanium charge pipes, and let me tell you, they look beautiful. There's also a titanium J pipe, which we may be installing, but the focus of today is the charge pipes. There's a lot of attention to detail, really good welds. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with these charge pipes. You also have here some bungs for meth injection if you decide to do that, and same thing on the J pipe. There's a bung right there and a bung on the other side. Picking these up, these are so light. I have picked up the ones from other companies that are billet aluminum or, you know, just upgraded aluminum J pipes and charge pipes, and they tend to be pretty heavy. These are really light. So we have the parts here, and of course in here they provided some swag, and also we have the hardware kit. So all the hardware looks like good clamps. They provide the O-rings, which is really rare for some of these companies that don't really provide anything. They expect you to take the O-rings from your factory charge pipes and swapping them over. Some people forget that altogether, but they provide everything so that you're able to prepare these and install them on the car. Fun fact, I have actually worked on a lot of S55s. I have never filmed anything for them. Every time that I try, I just end up focusing more on doing the work. This time, it's not going to be me doing the work. It's going to be Brendan. He's a tech here at EuroMpire. He was also my engine builder. Let's go ahead and start. Alright guys, let's begin by taking off the cowls. You already know that takes a 10mm socket. Take off both sides. There are going to be 3 nuts on each side, and then you're going to want a plastic trim remover to take off the little plastic bolts on the sides. Take those out, and then the next thing you want to do after this, you're going to want to take off this carbon fiber brace. You're going to need a 13mm, and I suggest a power tool to take these bolts out. And then we're going to take off another plastic piece, and then the nut that is holding down the reservoir to the actual brace. We pull the brace off, pretty easy. Next thing we do, we're going to be taking off some of this wiring off of the valve cover, and there are a few areas we're going to have to do that. We're going to go ahead and loosen these charge pipes at the intercooler, and then we're going to go ahead and take off this nut down here that is also going to be holding down the inlet. And the reason we want to remove the inlet, just the inlet, is to take off this intake. The intake on the passenger side you can remove as one single piece. Comes off pretty easily. Make sure you remove the MAF connection. And now we're going to go in and actually remove the bolts that are holding down the charge pipes. There are going to be 2 of them, and you're going to need an E10 to remove those bolts. There's one on each charge pipe. You can remove the charge pipe closest to you. That'll come off the easiest, and as you can see, it is very small, very slim. These become brittle over time because of the heat cycles, and that's why we want to remove these and replace them with something a little bit better. If you just follow along this video, it'll show you exactly how to take these off in the easiest manner possible. If we look here, we have the replacements compared to the OEM ones. Next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and take off the intake on the driver's side. That pulls off just as easily, and then we take off this plastic tab and this guard on top of the strut tower. A lot of people take off the other bolt. We're going to take off this one with a 10mm. Comes right off. It's just easier to go ahead and remove it, and then we go onto the sensor. We remove the sensor with a pick tool, and then we go onto our J-pipe and start removing that.
Sprayed just a little bit of glass cleaner down there and used a pick tool to get in there and loosen that coupler up, because it'll just, being on there for so many thousands of miles, it'll just be stuck.
So release the intercooler from the grommet.
To do a J-pipe, you don't actually have to drain
The intercooler?
Yeah, you don't have to drain, you just kind of move it over the side a little bit. That's what happens when it's been on there for 64,000.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, dude, I drive this car. This is not a garage clean.
That's supposed to allow it to just slide out?
Yeah, I just try to, that's why I keep trying to get it as far back as I can. There it goes.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry about that.
That is how it's held on from the factory. Yeah, they don't use that C-clip like you see on the N54s and N55s. I believe the Apex kit comes with a C-clip for the charge pipe, so that won't be reused. So we'll just go ahead and put that back in the factory one. I've seen these break. I don't think I've ever seen a charge pipe break, but I've definitely seen these break before. And also, as you can see, this is a little bit of, well, from what I've sprayed, a little bit of glass cleaner, but no coolant residue. So intercooler is still good at 64,000 miles. So I got lucky there. Now, to be granted, I'm not running a tune or anything. This is still stock.
Is that a common issue?
Yeah, it's starting to become a common issue for these S55s. I think it might be on these seams right here. They start to spread and they'll leak coolant, and then coolant starts getting in the combustion chamber. Typically, it's not a huge issue. You'll know just because you're on the instrument cluster. It'll tell you have low coolant level.
Here we have the charge pipes and the J-pipe. They're made out of titanium. These come with a hardware kit, and the hardware kit includes the couplers for the charge pipes as well as a coupler for the J-pipe. It also comes with worm gear clamps for the J-pipe and some for the charge pipes. This kit is also very complete. It comes with a C-clip, and it comes with the O-rings for the charge pipes and the J-pipe, which is not standard. A lot of companies just have you switch the OEM ones over, and also comes with the bolts to bolt down the charge pipes.
Okay, so for you guys at home, when you get like a new charge pipe or J-pipe, or even on the N54 and N55s, they come with meth bungs, right? A lot of times they don't look like this. They actually have a hex key is what you normally use. A lot of times they're just put in like this, right? They'll literally just be like kind of just in there, just like that. And most guys will put these on not realizing that they come loose from the factory, and that's so you can do what you want with them. If you're going to put actual meth injection in them, if you're not, you need to basically seal these somehow. You can use thread type, which is what we're going to use here. You can use E6000, just something to seal these bungs up so you don't create an issue for yourself. By upgrading your car, you actually then make it slower because now it's bleeding boost off. It's happened on more than one occasion. There's one in each charge pipe, and there's two in this J pipe. That's pretty typical. And even if you are going to run meth, normally here at EuroMpire we don't recommend doing the charge pipe meth because cylinders 1 and 6 will end up getting starved. 3 and 4 will actually get the most meth. So typically if you're going to run meth, do it the right way. Do direct port meth, so that way you don't end up blowing up your motor, melting a piston. Get these O-rings in there. Like I said, this kit came with all new O-rings, which is really cool because a lot of times you actually end up taking the ones out of the stock pipes and transferring them over. And then before you put this on, lubricate the O-ring with something, a little bit of grease, maybe some silicone spray, whatever you've got. And then we'll put this on so that way, like if you have to take it back off, like you don't want it down here because it'd be harder to get to, so. Try to do this without scratching the titanium. Alright, so now you guys can see that. So when you put this on, there should definitely be a pretty distinctive click of that seating.
Big boy?
That's tight.
Is it?
That is tight.
It's good.
It's not on all the way.
Good seal.
Yeah, I guess. A good way to check to make sure that's actually on is try to pull it back off, right? So if you can't pull it back off, you know it's seated properly. It's on. Now we should be ready to get the intercooler on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put our clamps on first. And then I'll use probably just a little bit of silicone spray to lubricate that silicone coupler up so that way we're not sitting there struggling trying to get this on.
And everything back up.
Yep. Make sure this gets on our mounting spots. Right.
Good?
Yeah. Sweet.
That's what it looks like.
Yep. You want them right on the lip. It's the best way to seal for boost. I like to put them on the intercooler first, just because there's an actual stopping point, and then I can put these clamps on now. Just make sure those are seated all the way. Same thing with this one. And then if you do have trouble getting the charge pipes on, you can always actually pop the intercooler up a little bit, just out of one of the grommets. Rear one goes on first. right on. Okay, so that's definitely, I'm probably going to take that bolt back out because now I've just realized that the washer that they included with the kit will actually go through the hole in the charge pipe. So one little piece of constructive criticism there. We'll go ahead and loosen that back up. We'll swap those out for a slightly bigger washer.
So what we did here is he actually, well, one, there's going to be Loctite on them.
A little bit.
But two, the biggest thing was that the washers provided by Apex were a little small. So they were falling through the hole that holds the pipe down. So grabbed some washers that are slightly bigger, oversized, so they'll actually stay on the top and clamp down the pipe.
Yep, no big deal. And then one thing I actually wanted to test real quick is actually just to see if the, I was just wondering if the OEM bolts would actually work with these charge pipes. It looks like the top might just be a little too big and interfere with them, so hence why they include aftermarket ones. I was just curious to see if they'd actually work or not. Most of the time they don't work on aftermarket charge pipes. Again, these are 5mm Allens, so we'll go ahead and get those tightened back up.
This titanium looks so good.
Might have to hit up Apex for the intakes.
Yeah, so
And if they don't make intakes, they better get on that.
yeah, so we decided that now that he has the pipes in titanium, he has to get the intakes.
Wait, we decided that? You decided.
I decided that, and he agreed, and he said he was already gonna do it. So, if Amanda's watching this,
God, no. I just loosened all these clamps so this could rotate a little bit.
Alright, to break out the specialty tool?
Yes, comes in really handy. I mean, you could probably use a swivel or whatever, but this is actually mats. I used to have one of these. They're like $70 and I lost it. I left it on a customer's car. That hurt. So it looks like it might hit slightly. I can't really tell if that's actually, it's not really putting any pressure on it. It's just kind of resting against it.
so they included this little pad right here. We thought it might have been for the carbon fiber strut brace that goes through here, but it's not actually going to touch these at all. But we see that it started rubbing right here at the intake, so we're thinking that's probably where it's supposed to go.
Let's see if we can. All right, there we go.
The adhesive side on the plastic side.
Yep, so that way no adhesive gets on the charge pipe.
The reason we don't want it to rub is because that titanium can rub into the plastic and actually damage it.
I think for me, wrestling it popped off a little bit right here, so let me just redo this. I don't have any, math codes going down the road. Rather not do that. The engine cover. I mean, I'm not ever gonna go back to stock charge pipes, right? I mean, that looks cool, but at the same time, it blocks it quite a bit. And like all charge pipes, it looks like this grommet won't pop in on the back. That's completely normal. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a set of charge pipes that haven't done that.
Honestly, I don't know if you'd want to cover up that artwork.
Yeah.
At this point, these charge pipes are more art than they are anything.
I'm really happy with the quality, man. Definitely wouldn't hesitate to buy any products from Apex. I know at the show I definitely saw they had downpipes for a lot of different BMWs, both catted and not catted. I believe they use the Jessie cats, I think that's how you say it, or Gessie, however you say it. It's G-E-S-I, I believe. The ones that guarantee no CELs with, stricter emissions laws. A lot of guys are starting to run those. They are more expensive, but it is what it is. Gotta pay to play, right? So, pretty impressed with these.
Alright guys, so that's it for this video. If you like what you saw, go ahead and click like and subscribe. These charge pipes look really good, and of course, I'll probably get some feedback later about the charge pipes, if it changes noise, if it changes any change that goes on with these pipes. There's obviously going to be more flow now. That's another benefit of these. Basically, they just look really good. So if you're going to do something like this with titanium pipes, I would say just get everything titanium at that point, make it all even. Looks really good.
It's expensive, but it looks pretty.
It is expensive, but shout out to Apexbuilt. These are really, really good pipes. Yeah, they'll be on the EuroMpire website on the online store, and you can probably pick them up from there. So if you have an S55, definitely check out Apexbuilt. See you guys next video.